politics. I don't want to hear about somebody doing this and nobody else doing that.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call. Collins. Here. Maluk. Here. Contos. Here. Dan. Here. Garmin. Here. Buxton. Here. Everyone received the copy of the minutes from the last council meeting. Any amendments? Hearing none, minutes stand as approved. Takes us to public speaks. Gary, what you got?
Just here to observe.
All right.
The
Joe?
last meeting I attend this year.
Yeah. Oh, you're not gonna be here in a couple
I'm
weeks?
not gonna be here in a couple of weeks.
Got some fun plans?
Yeah.
You lucky guy.
They're all up there for a
Know when we're planning the big holiday party.
Great. Joe, you got anything for us?
First of the year is coming.
Yeah.
It's time to try to get some new taxes in to the city. You're gonna need it because everything has skyrocketed.
Yeah, the prices of everything went up for sure. Yeah.
They're already, it's in the papers, other towns are already starting.
Yeah.
1/4%, 0.5%.
Yeah, no, North Canton's trying are moving theirs through, putting it for vote, 1/4%. So, yeah.
And on top of that, one other thing, there's an article in the paper about the bad intersections.
Okay.
In Stark County.
Yeah.
Trump and 30 was one of the bad ones. Tell them, extend that Route 30 on through and you could eliminate 2/3 of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that is a bad place.
It's definitely a lot of accidents up there for sure. Yeah, for sure. All right. Sue.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
I have a couple issues tonight, and you can really keep your answers very basic because it's something we could talk about forever. Since we've passed the police levy, what is the next step? Because taxes are in arrears, right? So the additional taxes won't be coming in for a while.
We have the ability, Charlie, correct me wrong, but I think we have the ability to start collecting those next year. So
Will be assessed in 2024 and received April 2025.
yeah, so it's so yeah, we do have a 1 year law.
Till the revenue starts coming in.
Exactly.
Is there a plan in place how that additional money for the police department is going to be spent?
We'll have to look at that and come up with a detailed plan. I mean, there are many needs within the department and council and then the chief and myself, and we just have to prioritize which needs come first. And, you know, of course we can't do everything, but we have to prioritize that. So it hasn't been decided yet, but there's a couple things that have been discussed.
Does council have a finance committee or?
Yes.
Okay, is it Mr. Buxton all by himself or is it some?
No.
separate group of people?
No, there's three, Councilman Buxton, chairs, and then there's, Councilman Blue and Councilman Collins.
So they are all council members?
Yes.
But it's an entity outside of the regular council?
It's a subcommittee that should meet, in fact, that is something we're gonna be bringing up here in a bit about, merit increases for 24, and the finance committee has to head that, and then they come up with the recommendations to put in front of full council.
My question came because we pushed real hard, the committee pushed real hard for that levy, and people are already asking me, when's the police department gonna do this? When are we gonna get some more police? And I've been telling people that money's not gonna be coming in for a while, at
Right.
least. I thought it would come after June or July when the taxes are paid, because taxes are every 6 months, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
So I wanted to find out for sure. My second issue I have is there was a big discussion on Facebook last night about a grocery store in East Canton.
Yeah.
What are the parameters for getting a grocery store in here, whether it be a Walmart, a Giant Eagle, or Mr. and Mr. Jones
Yeah.
grocery
basically-
store?
Yeah, it's basically up to a private investor on what they want to spend their money on. And I'll be honest, when the store was empty that now holds Family Dollar, we did try to lure in some grocery stores. And the major pushback from those stores was that we had a Giant Eagle less than 5 miles this way. We have a Walmart less than, well, I think 6 miles that way. Our population was, pretty low. And they didn't think that the business would do well. I'll be honest, they didn't think it'd be worth the investment to put a dedicated grocery store here when residents would be tempted to, if they wanted something cheap, they'd go to Walmart. I
How long ago was that you tried to get this?
think that was what, 3 years ago?
Well, it was right before the dollar store went in.
Yeah.
Because since then, we've got that community down there
Mhm.
of the older people, and
Yeah.
it'd be great if they didn't have to drive 5 miles. Some of them can't.
Yeah.
Or don't want to. And we've got the new sports complex going in, so more people are gonna be coming in for different things.
Yeah.
And if they're like me, if you're out somewhere and you go, oh crap, I need milk, you're gonna stop on the way home, or you're gonna go run there while your kid's waiting to run another race or something.
I understand.
So I just wondered, because somebody told me we didn't have enough rooftops in East Canton
That
to
was
warrant,
That was one of them.
Yeah.
and I understand that, but again, since we've got the new tenants down there,
Mhm.
and because that would bring in more taxes.
What is it, 50 people we got over there?
Something like
When the Save a Lot was empty, the mayor, when he was on council, talked to a lot of people.
Mhm.
So that's just the stuff you don't talk about during a meeting because, I mean, you beat your head against the wall and try to do something that doesn't work out. And it's just
condition of
talk
the
about-
building.
But yeah, he tried like crazy. Then whoever it is that bought the Family Dollar bought it. And
Yeah.
I didn't know if that had to be approved, like council had to go out and look, or you just went to people, or if somebody came in and said, hey, we'd like to come in, and they were told, well,
That's capitalism. It's free market. If
Yeah,
somebody
it's
wants to
free
make
market.
money, they're gonna
Yeah.
make it.
right,
Yeah.
but I
That
didn't
ain't
know
got nothing to do with it.
if they came and said, we'd like to open a grocery store, and they were told, we don't feel there's enough, you're not gonna make any money here. I mean,
No.
which would be stupid, I understand.
No, it's-
From wanting to open up business or something. That
No.
No, we wouldn't do that. We think it's a great resource for the residents. We want a grocery store here.
Mhm.
It's just telling someone else what they should do with their money doesn't work. And they have to, somebody willing to invest has to know that their investment's gonna bring a return.
Sure.
And looking at the East Canton market, there just wasn't anyone that was willing to make that investment. To Councilman Collins' point, we reached out to several different contacts, people that actually own other grocery stores in other areas, and said, hey, what's the odds that you could maybe look at this building and see what you can do to get a grocery store here? And all of them, they did the market research, but there's just nothing that pointed to this would be a successful venture coming to East Canton for a grocery store.
Wow. Okay, that answers my question. Thank you.
Brett.
Yeah. Let me hand out a couple things. So my name is Brett Fegan with Kimball. This is it. Are you all on, you three on council? I don't think you need one of these. I only have 6.
Yeah, you're
So,
good.
Council, are you council? 2. All right. All right. So my name is Brett Fegan with Kimball. I'm the municipal sales manager. It's great to be here tonight. I know there has been some issues as far as service goes. I think in the last 6 months, things have gotten a lot better.
What brings you to think that?
What brings me to think
Yeah.
that I've driven around behind the truck a couple times. I think blowing trash has decreased significantly. Communication's been better, I think, with the mayor and with Ed. That's my opinion, right? Because, I also feel like I've talked to operations and had kind of meetings quite often, honestly, that how's things going in East Canton, and the report back is that things have been better. So you don't feel that way?
You go ahead.
Either way, I'll tell you this, we're grateful for the partnership. We submitted 2 bids. One was with the front load and one is with the rear load. So the rear load is $13.92, which is 88 cents more than you're currently paying. The front load is the same rate. So we didn't even raise the rate. In addition to what we'll do with the front load, if you choose us, we'll put on it's like a net fencing that goes on the hopper which helps with blowing trash as well. I want to commend you guys too, handling everything how you have and going out to bid. Inflation's through the roof, and you were able to get your residents very minimal increase or no increase if you choose the front load. We can always provide better service. That's why I'm handing out my phone number and email. You can come straight to me. I'm sure the mayor wants to know what's going on too, and so does Ed, but you can come straight to me. I'll answer, I'll get it fixed. I'll work with operations. Again, we're grateful for the partnership. Give us another shot. We don't want to let East Canton go. We really don't. Is there any questions that anyone has for me? Okay.
I have a question. I'm the village counselor attorney. If the village would award the grant with the front end loader with your anti-debris device and find out that it just doesn't work to their satisfaction, would Kimball consider an amendment to the contract to then roll into rear load only? And I understand it's an equipment and manpower question for you folks.
Right.
And I'm just talking off my head. I haven't discussed this with the administration or council, but I know from sitting here in meetings throughout the year, there's been so many complaints and concerns about when the overhead dumpster is activated, the trash and the debris becoming a nuisance.
Yeah.
I don't know if your anti-debris device will work or not.
Yeah, it's definitely going to help. We'll never get to say that, 100% of the trash is going to, make it into the hopper. But if trash is bagged too, that's another thing. You can't tell everyone to bag their trash, but if it was, that would solve the problem as well. Let me answer your question though. As far as switching midway through, I can't make that decision. I can certainly take it back to them, but the rear load truck is going to have 2 guys on it.
Right.
So that's where that 88-cent price increase comes from. I can't tell you that I can't say no, but I can't say yes either. I can get back
I
to
don't know
you.
if council would even consider that. I just throw that out for everybody's.
Yeah. So the rear load trucks are a little smaller. They're shorter, so they're not going to be catching wires, dumping through from the back. You're not going to have the blowing trash from the hopper coming down. That may be the best option.
Yeah. And I would just also talk off the top of my head, again, not representing council, but my resident service, I do not live in the village, but I am required to bag it into the can. And if it's not, they will not pick it up. So I don't know if that's again, we can suggest it to residents.
Right.
We can't make them bag their trash. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I think that rear load is probably the best case scenario, especially with there's a couple issues, power lines and things like that. I think that would definitely resolve that.
Yeah, there'll be no dumping.
The
Like
rear
this.
loaders are lighter.
Yeah, I don't have the exact specs. They are a touch lighter because they're 30 feet instead of, or they're 25 feet instead of 30 feet. So from the length and as far as height goes, I think they're about 6 inches shorter. So yeah, they're a little bit lighter on the road too.
Well, the specifications, council will remember, that we gave was to give preference to the rear load.
Right.
Because of the concern.
Any other questions from council for Rick?
The Republic folks, are they rear loading as well?
Yeah. Thanks, Brett.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
All right, takes us to committee reports. Service.
Under roads, the solars have been put on the trucks, the plows are ready to go, and we have plenty of salt for the season. So we're ready for winter. Underwater, we had a water break the other day, last week, 100 block of East Noble. We ended up replacing 12 foot of pipe. It actually had a horizontal crack in it. And then when we got down there, there was 2 foot clamps on it. So there's 4 foot of clamp on top of the horizontal crack. So once we got it all fixed, everything went well. Was out there all night, went to shut the water off the hydrant broke. So today we replaced it. So everything went well. We're back up and running. We're in a boil alert only in the affected area. Some of the residents don't understand that yet. They're still on the old school where when one person boils, the whole village boils. That's the way it used to be. But we're pretty much isolating it now, which is nice. And because we had somebody on Walnut was concerned about a boil alert today, when actually it was over here. So, but overall, everything went well. The fire hydrant's repaired, the water break's fixed, and we'll move on. The generator for the pump house, the generator at the pump house, I should say, now has a fence around it. I don't know if anybody noticed it when they went by. It's a little big, but it works fine. It's doing what it's supposed to do. It still won't be hooked up until the end of the year, first of the year, because like I said, the last council, the gas company is still waiting on parts. So it'll be the end of the year, first of the year. So when that happens, I will keep council informed. The EPA approved the grant for the water tower. So that's good.
Yeah.
Especially with everything that's going on with the water tower next year.
Good job on that, Ed.
So that's done. It is we pay up front, just like we did this one. We'll pay for it after it gets inspected and everything, then EPA will reimburse us. Parks and buildings, nothing to report there. And under other, just a reminder, the Light Up East Canton is this Sunday, December 10th at 5:30. It's going to be a little small parade, popcorn, hot dogs, all kind of bunch of little stuff going on. And the mayor will be giving his proclamation up there. So things should be good, you know, come out and try it out. So the village is actually involved with them. We're not running it. We're just involved with it and trying to be part of it. So make it a little bigger than what it used to be.
You said this Sunday?
This Sunday, 5:30. So that's all I got.
Any questions for Administrator Collins?
There's gonna be a parade, like
Yes.
on the street parade?
Yeah.
It's
We're actually gonna
good.
shut down the downtown area. From T&T to the Historical Society will all be shut down.
Oh, cool.
It's a mini parade. It starts right here, and we're just gonna run the block. I think we got a fire truck, a police car, we got the band. We got the Grinch is gonna be being chased by the police department. I knew you were. A lot of little things going on. The Echoes are gonna be there singing. There's another group I think is gonna be there singing. And Mr. and Mrs. Claus will be there too, so.
Do you know anything about what's going on at the Fold Center afterwards? I know someone rented a room afterwards. Is there gonna be cookies, coffee? I mean, do you know?
There'll be cookies and coffee at the Historical Society. The Santa Claus is not gonna be, come sit on my lap, Santa. They're just gonna come in, they're just gonna kind of walk around, mingle a little bit, because they got work to do at the North Pole, so they'll be heading out kind of quick.
You're such a believer.
So, yeah, we didn't want to do the sit down, spend hours walking, waiting to do that, so. But yeah, I think it should be a lot of fun, and maybe kick it up a notch, and maybe more people will show up for the, you know. That's all I got.
Thanks, Ed.
Yep.
All right, takes us to safety.
Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. You didn't have a good Thanksgiving?
No. I had to work.
All right, since the last council meeting, we conducted 22 traffic stops, 6 security checks, 2 911 hangups, 2 alarm drops. We had 2 thefts, resulted in 6 warrants being issued. 4 of the 6 felony warrants, 4 investigations, 1 open door, a neighbor dispute involving a firearm. On December 1st, I was gonna initiate our elderly check program. I held off until I could speak to council about the program. We're gonna have it on the village website tomorrow. There's a little form on there. If anybody knows an elderly person that's by themselves, or they don't have any family close, their kids live out of town and they just want them checked on, they can fill out this little form. We'll stop, knock on the door once a week, check on them, make sure everything's all right, especially with winter coming in the cold weather. Make sure their heat's working, just talk to them for a little bit so they don't feel alone. For the month of November, we did 10 funeral escorts. Today, I sold a majority of the firearms we had in evidence. We received a check for $3,300. It should go into the Law Enforcement Trust Fund. We have a new funeral escort contract and also received a contract from the Sheriff's Department for dispatch for 2024. And the Explorers in the garage were to pick it up in the morning. I don't know if you guys remember back in early spring where I arrested 3 people for burglary, B&E, and theft at Middy's Trucking. 2 out of the 3 got 3 years in prison for that. Also, I don't know if you remember me bringing up the JAG grant that I applied for in July, August. I haven't heard anything about it, so I went digging. We did not get declined. It's under executive review. And that's for 2 cruisers, all brand new computers for the cruisers, radios, radar units, everything's come out to $160-some thousand. So we're still hopeful in the first of the year we hear something about that.
Still in the running for it.
Yeah. Nope, we're not kicked out of it yet. Still under executive review. So we passed the first phase. Now we're in the, I think, the last phase.
That's good. That'd be awesome.
I don't know if we know how to act with new vehicles and computers.
There's no match on that. We signed there was a form you could fill out to waive that match, and they approved that, so we'll see what happens. I mean, there's still a chance we won't get anything, but
Yeah.
we'll see. We're just not kicked out of it yet.
Cool.
Good stuff.
That's real cool.
Anything for Chief? Any questions, comments? All right, thanks, Chief, appreciate it. Takes us to judicial.
That would be resolution 2023-14. You really can just, if you just want to read it by title only, all it is a resolution for the village to give ODOT authorization to replace road signs on State Routes 172 from Wood Street to the village limits in fiscal year 2025. That's all it is. It's a standard boilerplate work agreement that they send us all the time.
Okay, resolution 2020. So.
Second.
All right, roll call. Collins.
Yeah.
Baloo.
Yeah.
Contos.
Yeah.
Van.
Yes.
Garmin. Yeah. Cluster.
No, I don't. This is your stuff. An ordinance 2023-24, Nick will read it. It's just a 2-year contract with the Canton Law Department and Canton Prosecutor's Office to provide legal representation and prosecute criminal cases as referred to them from the Village Police Department or Mayor Spencer. It's a standard 2-year contract like we normally sign with them. However, this one has a $500 increase per year, which is minimal compared to what we've been sending them as far as the caseload.
Yeah, just so council is aware, the caseload that we've been sending the last year and a half is significantly higher than what they have had in previous years. So it's
Yeah, they're being generous with
Yeah.
just what the increase is. So.
I had it easy for a while.
Yeah.
All right, ordinance 2023-24, an ordinance to enter into a 2-year contract for the period of January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2025 with the City of Canton Law Department and the City of Canton Prosecutor's Office to provide legal representation and to prosecute criminal cases and related matters. Be it ordained by the Council of the Village of East Canton, State of Ohio, Section 1, the Village of East Canton Police Department requires the assistance of the City of Canton Law Department and the City of Canton Prosecutor's Office to provide advice, counsel, and representation for the prosecution of certain crimes occurring within the Village of East Canton, Ohio. And Section 2, the City of Canton Law Department and City of Canton's Prosecutor's Office have proposed a contract to provide advice, counsel, and representation for the prosecution of certain crimes occurring within the Village of East Canton, Ohio for a 2-year period from January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2025 at a cost of $13,090 and for the 2-year period. Section 3, the Village of East Canton fiscal officer shall do all things reasonable and necessary to encumber funds for payments as referenced under said contract. Be it further ordained, the Village of East Canton does hereby authorize and direct the mayor of the Village of East Canton and the fiscal officer for the Village of East Canton to enter into a contract with the City of Canton Law Department and the City of Canton Prosecutor's Office to provide advice, counsel, and representation for the prosecution of certain crimes occurring within the Village of East Canton for a 2-year period from January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2025 at a cost of $13,090 and $13,090 for a 2-year period. The contract shall be in form attached hereto as Exhibit 1 and fully incorporated herein by reference and as if fully rewritten here. Be it further ordained, it is hereby found determined that all formal actions of this council concerning and relating to the passage of this ordinance were taken in an open meeting of this council, and that all deliberations of this council on any of its committees that result in such formal action were meetings open to the public in compliance with the law. Be it further ordained, this ordinance is hereby declared to be an emergency measure necessary for the immediate preservation of public peace, health, safety, convenience, and welfare of the Village of East Canton, and shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage and at the earliest date allowable by law. So.
Second.
Roll call. Collins.
Yeah.
Blue.
Yeah.
Contos.
Yeah.
Van.
Yes.
Garmin. Buxton.
Motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
I think you got you that time, Paul. All right. Roll call. Collins.
Yeah.
Blue.
Yeah.
Contos.
Yeah.
Van.
Yes.
Garmin. Buxton.
Third and final reading, ordinance 2023-24 by title only. An ordinance to enter into a 2-year contract for the period of January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2025 with the City of Canton Law Department and the City of Canton Prosecutor's Office to provide legal representation and to prosecute criminal cases and related matters. So.
Second.
Roll call. Collins.
Yeah.
Blue.
Yeah.
Contos.
Yeah.
Van.
Yes.
Garmin. Buxton.
All right, the next ordinance, 2023-25, it's a renewal of the dispatch contract with the Stark County Sheriff's Department. These contracts are a 1-year contract. They like to renew them every year for a dollar amount of $12,996. I don't believe, if I remember correctly, that's an increase. I think it's the same as what we're paying this year. Yeah, just.
How's the dispatch going, chief? I mean,
I think it's great compared to what we had.
I know there were issues for the last time.
Ordinance 2023-25, an ordinance authorizing the mayor, the chief of police, and the fiscal officer to enter into a renewal of the dispatching services agreement for the police dispatching services with the Stark County Sheriff's Office and to approve the expenditure for the cost of said dispatch services. East Canton Village Council, Stark County, Ohio met in regular session on the 4th day of December 2023 with a quorum of members present. Now therefore be ordained. Section 1, the Stark County Sheriff's Office has the equipment, facilities, and personnel to perform and provide radio dispatching services to governmental, safety, and service personnel, and the Village of East Canton Police Department requires such services. Section 2, Stark County Sheriff and the Village of East Canton find it mutually beneficial to enter into an agreement for the provision of police dispatching services based upon the mutual promises and covenants as follows. A, the Stark County Sheriff agrees to provide the Village of East Canton Police Department the following police department radio dispatch services as set forth in the attached Exhibit A, which by reference is incorporated herein. The Stark County Sheriff also agrees that the radio dispatch services provided hereunder include recording of telephone and radio traffic. B, and for compensation for said dispatching services, East Canton agrees to pay the Stark County Sheriff the sum of $12,996, which shall be paid in equal consecutive monthly installments of $1,083 per month. The formula for determining said cost is set forth on the attached Exhibit A, which by reference is incorporated here. C, this agreement shall be effective for a term of 12 months commencing January 1st, 2024 and ending December 31st, 2024. Either party may terminate this agreement by providing 30 days notice anytime during the agreement's effective dates. Be it further ordained, is hereby found determined that all formal actions of this council concerning and relating to the passage of this ordinance were taken in an open meeting of this council, and that all deliberations of this council on any of its committees that result in such formal action or meetings open to the public in compliance with the law. Be it further ordained, this ordinance here is hereby declared to be an emergency measure necessary for the immediate preservation of the public peace, health, safety, convenience, and welfare of the Village of East Canton, and shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage and at the earliest date allowable by law. So.
Second.
Roll call, Collins.
Yeah.
Baloo.
Yay.
Contos.
Yay.
Van.
Yes.
Garmin.
Yeah.
Buxton.
Motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
Roll call, Collins.
Yeah.
Baloo.
Yay.
Contos.
Yay.
Van.
Yes.
Garmin.
Yay.
Buxton.
Third and final reading ordinance 2023-25, an ordinance authorizing the mayor, the chief of police, and the fiscal officer to enter into a renewal of the dispatching services agreement for the police dispatching services with the Stark County Sheriff's Office, and to approve the expenditure for the cost of said dispatch services. So moved.
Second.
Roll call, Collins.
Yeah.
Baloo.
Yay.
Contos.
Yay.
Van.
Yes.
Garmin.
Yeah.
Buxton.
Council has before them two other issues to address. If you go to page 11 of your reading packet, it is a copy of the proposed I should say it's a renewed or a revised, let's just call it a revised funeral escort service contract between Cassidy, Cassidy Turkle and Kristen Funeral Home and the village. Basically what they are doing, they are raising what they are paying the village now from $160 to $185 per funeral escort. And they are asking that the village raises the compensation to each officer that provides said escort from $50 per funeral escort to $75. I'm asking the council, at least if they agree with it, provide a motion and a second roll call so we can incorporate it into the minutes for the state auditor, especially since there's compensation to employees involved with this.
So they're increasing the fee basically, and then they're asking us just to kind of
Pass it along to the officer. Yeah. And the reason that they made the request is that they said that sometimes the officers have to stay longer while waiting on the sermons or whatnot. So that they feel it's more fair to,
And again, this is a completely side or separate special duty, I guess. It's not like on.
if it happens on duty, it's always local and that officer isn't paid because they can't double do it. So.
Yeah, the village will pick up the
Yeah.
whole fee then.
I'm sorry, are you seeing a motion for that?
If you guys approve the contract as presented, yes, I'd like to have a motion and a second roll call so that I can put it in the minutes. for the auditor when they start looking. Basically, what they're gonna look at is they're not gonna look at what the village gets from the funeral home. They're gonna look at what we pay each officer. And by having it in the minutes where it's approved and voted on, then that, you're making in essence, that's what we're willing to pay each officer for that particular escort. They can't go back and get a notice of finding against that officer and ask for the money back.
Gotcha. I'll make a motion that we accept the agreement.
Second.
All right, roll call, Collins.
Yeah.
Luke.
Yeah.
Contos.
Yay.
Van.
Yes.
Garmin.
Yeah.
Buxton.
All right, and the second item that you've got before you, I passed it out right after, or I sent it out to you last Friday. The bid results for the trash hauling contract that the village put out for bid. Now, council can either approve or disapprove this. If you approve it, then we'll have the contract ready for review and motion at the next meeting. If you disapprove it, then the current contract ends December 31st of this year, and it would be up to the residents to figure out how they're gonna get their trash picked up. So just need a motion or table it or however you want. But the current contract expires December 31st of this year.
That's what we've got the bid here, that's.
Yeah.
what we're looking
Yep.
at.
Yep.
I mean, some of the complaints that we had before, I think if we're looking at that rear load, I think that resolves the complaints that we've received based on the trash going around and the electrical wires. And I'm not aware of any other complaints that as far as other services that we've received.
No, that was primarily it, just the trash blowing around.
Oh, you had a little problem on Sugar Alley with the asphalt being smushed.
Yeah, that's also should be in effect with the new contract as well. And I believe it was you, Brett, that I spoke to.
Yes.
I think it's a difference of $3 a month or $36 a household a year. And his job's to come in here and make a sale. Any complaints we had, we're gonna have again. For $3 a month, you're gonna hear the same complaints. If that's what you wanna do, go ahead. That's my opinion.
Well, not necessarily the same complaints, if.
Yeah,
we've
the
got-
same complaints. You're hiring the same person to do the same job.
But I think part of the complaints were the vehicle that they were using. So that's.
According to what you think, not to what's gonna
You
happen.
tell me what you think then.
Well, personally, I wouldn't rehire them to do this again.
You can't take.
It can't be personal, I guess, in that sense, but if the majority of the complaints were based on what we feel is the truck issue, then that should resolve those complaints, in my opinion.
Well, the problem you have, gentlemen, is this is a public bid. So you have to take the lowest responsible bidder. And there's no question that Kimball Company is a responsible bidder. You may not be totally happy with them performance in the past, but they are a responsible bidder, and the both bids submitted meet the bid requirements and specifications.
Yeah, I agree, but then they submitted multiple bids as well, different trucks. and things.
Well, that's
So
what I'm saying. So
I
you
think
know
that's, yeah. And that's my opinion.
But, so, I mean, if there would be a preference to reject all bids and rebid it, but you're gonna get this, there's
I'm
only
just-
so many competitors in the
I'm just
area.
one guy, there's 6 of us here. It's just my opinion.
You gotta look at the end of it, what's best for the residents. And to do nothing, it's gonna cost them a lot more to go out and get their own trash service.
Then we'll have multiple trucks running around depending on the service that they get, and then,
Well, and that's the concept of the whole contract.
right. Some of those trucks may be front loading at any rate, and then we're back to that again.
I mean, the one thing I will say is, whatever that company wanted to do, they did. It didn't matter what Ed said, didn't matter what anybody complained about. They just did whatever they want to do. That's all I'm gonna say.
let's handle it one step at a time. Is council comfortable with the alternative number one of the front end load with anti-litter? Let's just get that one taken care of first.
I really wouldn't have any confidence in that.
Is that a shared opinion on council?
What's that?
So about the front end, does council have any confidence in that front end alternative option one with the litter control device?
Your truck's already running those, right?
Not here.
No?
No, this would be a new attachment that fits on the front of the hopper.
Can I ask Brett why you didn't put it on there when we were complaining about the?
We'd have to order it. We gotta order the part and we just didn't have it.
But you'll have it by January 1st?
That's what I'm being told.
Does council have any confidence in that option?
If they attach it, I imagine
Yeah.
it would help.
If it actually winds up being on a truck, it might help.
What about the power wire
Yeah.
concern?
Well, I think the drivers have got to know where to dump and where not to dump, right?
If they
I mean, if
stick-
you're looking at it for what the best deal for the residents is,
Yeah.
it's that with the litter. You know, it's gonna save them, over the course of it, it's $1 a month, which may not be a lot, but it's 30 over the course of the.
The one complaint was when the wires were knocked down, they ignored it and said it didn't happen. We didn't do it. The wires just fell down on their own.
Just try calling you or raising your hand.
Yeah, I guess my question, and for council would be, if they would have put that attachment on, if the bucket's already hitting wires now, is it gonna be worse? Is it gonna go higher with that attachment on there?
No. First off, how many wire situations are we talking? Because I'm tracking to 2 wire situations that happened.
I
The
know,
one was yours.
I know of, besides mine, 3 more. You tore one guy's cable line down twice in a month. You wouldn't talk to him on the phone. That's over on her side of town. Gooch's brother-in-law, Dr. Gooch.
Or on shady
So
side?
and another thing is the Ohio Revised Code, these wires have to be more than 15.32 inches high. Or 15.42 inches high. Our trucks are 13.6. So if we run by and we hit a wire, it's not, the Ohio Revised Code protects us. It's not our fault at all. If we are raising our hopper and we catch a wire, 100% our fault. I'm not sure I know of any of them that it was us that actually raised the wire and raised the hopper and caught the wire. And then as far as some of the one that you were saying where, we said we didn't do it, we had GPS that did not show us in that area at that time. And I know Ed even said, Brett, I don't think that's right. Well, our driver didn't report it either, and there was no damage on the truck. I mean, our drivers report almost everything because you can't get away with anything nowadays with all the cameras. We didn't have any damage. So again, we can't just admit we did something that we have no evidence that says we did it. And you have a lot of truck traffic going through this place too. And another thing is Waste Management drives through East Canton to get to their facility as well. They do drop some trash and they could have some issues with, litter as well.
We'll just go with the rear load trucks and forget about it. It's gonna be another $12 a year.
Yeah, I agree with that. If you're gonna go with these guys, at least he don't know the weight of the vehicles he's trying to sell, but if the one is lighter, that'd be better on the pavement too.
All right, so that takes out the alternative option one. That leaves Kimball and Republic both doing the rear bid. I think as Charlie mentioned that this is a public bid. I think that sums it up, right? I mean, I don't know if council can.
Well, if you're gonna reject the low bid, you have to explain why they're not a responsible bidder.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Even though it's the same company.
No, I'm saying if you're rejecting Kimball and you're gonna go with Republic,
It's not,
you
it's,
better have a good reason.
no. We're talking about Kimball just going with their rear load truck.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. If we disqualify alternative one for St. Louis, we can't do that. We're just saying Kimball versus Republic. The only way you're gonna be able to pick Republic is if you
You don't
can.
want to pick her up. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, I understand that, but there's some on council that,
But the additional 88 cents a month meets the bid specs because the specifications in bold, 3 places said preference will be given to a rear load.
Right.
So
we're
that
okay
is the most qualified bid.
there. So we're good there.
Yes.
I would have a hard time justifying
No,
that
you can't.
big
You just
raising.
can't.
Yeah,
You can't do
So we go to Kimball for rear load, you know what I'm saying?
that's the case, we need a motion.
Make a motion on something.
that. I'll make a motion to accept Kimball's, recycling disposable base bid rear load, starting January 1st, 2024, monthly rate of $13.92.
Second.
Roll call. Collins.
Yeah.
Blue.
yeah.
Contos.
Nay.
Van.
Yes.
Carmen.
Yeah.
Buxton.
Yeah.
Anything else for judicial? As far as grants, we had talked about the 2 active grants currently. Anything else for grants to discuss? All right, takes us to finance.
Finance, I'd like to make a motion to approve invoices, amount of $64,242.54, as presented by fiscal officer Geis.
Second.
Roll call. Collins.
Yeah.
Blue.
Yeah.
Contos.
Yay.
Van.
Yes.
Carmen.
Yeah.
Buxton.
Yay. And I'd also like to make a motion to approve payroll in the amount of $16,833.76.
Second.
Roll call. Collins.
Yeah.
Blue.
Yeah.
Contos.
Yay.
Van.
Yes.
Carmen.
Yeah.
Buxton.
Yay. And lastly, I'd like to make a motion to approve November 2023 bank reconciliation as presented by fiscal officer Geis.
Second.
Roll call. Collins.
Yeah.
Blue.
Yeah.
Contos.
Yay.
Van.
Yes.
Carmen.
Yeah.
Buxton.
Trevor, do you want another one of these signed or initial at the bottom with the payroll or the invoices? Bank
Just the bank reconciliation and the payroll. They never say anything about the payment part of it.
While we're on the subject of finances, kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. Has council given any thought to the budget numbers for merit increases for 2024? I think I brought it up about 2 or 3 council meetings ago to start digging into it, but
What increases?
merit increases. You have to set a budget for our managers to adhere to when doing reviews and whatnot.
What would you do the last one? Was it?
I think it was 3%.
3%.
Yeah.
I can't recall. Did we do a range, meaning the department heads did a review, and then do a range?
It's max of 3. Yeah, max of 3 for the department. That was what last year.
Is that, I mean, I would feel comfortable with that if that's in our budget as far as. I would feel comfortable continuing that same 3%, or up to 3%, depending on reviews based on department heads.
Any other thoughts?
You need a motion on it or?
No, I think it's just a direction for the managers to start working towards, that's all.
Do we have a time frame to when we should expect those to be completed? Is it like end of the year or?
We'll start working on it. It's definitely something that, it's gonna take a little bit of time, but now that we have some direction in regards to budgetary numbers, I just didn't want the managers to start giving out reviews and then tell the employees, oh, we'll come back to you later on about the budgetary stuff. So, now that we have that direction, they'll start working. I'll meet with Chief and Ed. And, we'll go from there. Okay. All right, anything else for finance? Thank you, Councilman Buxton. All right, takes us to other. I had sent out earlier today the mayor's court report for November. Total collected for the month, $1,297, which breaks down as follows: $777 in fines, $208 in local costs, and $312 in state costs.
David, let me just ask, that's also because of increased police activity?
Yeah.
So quite a bit since last year.
Yeah, we've had some up and down months. There's been a lot of stops. The PD's been doing a lot of warnings and whatnot, but the number of criminal cases has went up dramatically. And so, yeah, we're making some good progress. Still work to do, but we're making good progress. Yeah.
If anything, I find it really surprising that them kind of criminals were around here.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a dumb thing to say, but until them guys started, like, holy cow.
You look at all the traffic that goes through the village, and most of them aren't even EC residents. These are just people that are traveling through, and when you got all these different interstates running through, and yeah, bad things are going to happen. So it's good. All right. It's also noted on here, just a reminder, Light Up East Canton is scheduled for this Sunday, 12/10 it's marked 5 o'clock here, but 5:30 is official, right?
I don't know, all the signs that are out on the street say 5 o'clock.
I think they're trying to get everybody there at 5, but I think flipping the switch will probably be closer to 5:30.
I think flipping the switch is like 6:30.
6:30. That's a lot of talking, man.
Yeah.
I can't talk for an hour. You all got to.
No, you're already up there.
talking about you can't talk for an hour.
Yeah, there wouldn't be nobody left.
Right. They'd be all bored, man. They'd be sleeping. Light up what?
Better hope the weather report changes by then.
Yeah, it's supposed to be raining, right? Yeah, I saw that.
All I gotta do is look out my back door.
There you go. But I hope to see everyone there. I think it'd be a nice event. I appreciate Administrator Collins and the group that's Terry Large is very much involved in that. I appreciate all the efforts from that whole committee and everything they've done to get this arranged. I think it's gonna be nice for the village. So, anything else for other?
Yes.
Yeah.
This past week, I sold a pickup truck and came here to get the title notarized, and I couldn't get it notarized because I guess we don't do that here.
I notarize.
Even though the website clearly says that we do.
Yeah, I'm a notary.
Well,
Frank Dordo is one too.
I came in during regular business hours and went to the front desk and was turned away because we don't do that.
Yeah, it's just done. We should probably make it by appointment.
Okay.
Yeah, by appointment, because like I said, I'm a notary and I don't mind, stopping out and doing it. And I'm here in the evening, so.
You have a notary at the library.
Yeah, library has one as well. That's absolutely.
Well, we went down to the bank to finish it up, but there's
Yeah.
a lot of running around, so if
Yeah.
we're gonna provide a service,
Yeah.
I think we should have it here full time.
The only way we're gonna be able, the problem is, the only way we can have it here full time is to have both Penny and Cassandra, both notaries, because, they alternate days.
Right.
So the only way is to have both of them. I think it would just have to be something that,
The old mayor was a notary, that's why he was here all the time, and
Right.
that's why she was here every day.
right,
Probably ought to just take it off the website or just put by appointment only.
right.
Yeah, we
not
need to
gonna
clarify that a
get the
little bit.
Yeah, we'll just put by appointment only and.
You could say that the library has one too on there.
Quick question on that. Why aren't those girls notaries?
They're not required to be.
Yeah, it's just not
Yeah, they're not required.
it's just not a requirement. I'm sure if they were interested, the village may consider doing it. It does come with a cost, of course, but I think it's just, if they were willing to do it.
Really wouldn't be a revenue driver, just be a service,
Yeah.
basically.
but it costs about $150 now.
Yeah.
I was a notary, I didn't renew it because it costs that much to renew
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But if it's on the website, and I understand you're thinking of taking it off, those girls should have a notary license. I'm sure it would help. People can't always run to the library or run other places.
And the website says free to residents, and so that's gonna be an attractor right there.
And I have notarized documents for residents, but to your point, Councilman Blue, it'd probably be good just to clarify that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. All right. Anything else for other? All right, get a motion to adjourn.
Second, or so moved.
All right.
Did it again. Really quick on that. We'll give it the Contos.
Yeah.
However it
All
works.
right. Roll call. Collins.
Yeah.
Baloo.
Yeah.
Contos.
Yeah.
Dan.
Yes,
Garmin.
you were over your rehearse.
Well, when he goes, I just hear him say the word motion, and my brain thinks he